My fiancé has a female friend. He has liked her for 10 years. And once confessed when drunk. I don't dare to confess my feelings. Because I'm afraid that if I do, we won't even be able to be friends anymore. I wasn't angry. Instead, I quietly bought rings and ordered a wedding dress. My fiancé privately complained to his friends that I was forcing him to get married, and even joked that he would leave me hanging at the wedding, until he realized that this wedding had nothing to do with him at all. This one will do. In the wedding dress shop, I finally chose the dress. The salesperson asked me, "Do you need to ask your fiancé for his opinion?" In the whole shop, all the other girls were accompanied by their boyfriends. While I was alone, I smiled and said, "No need. He'll like it." While sitting on the sofa waiting to pay, my phone alerted me that a post I was following had been updated. The title of the post was 10 Years of Loving a Girl, and the person who posted it was a boy. Countless people below urged him hurry up and confess. He said, "I don't dare. I'm afraid that if I confess, we won't even be able to be friends anymore." The person who posted this was my fiancé Ronan. When I got home, Ronan was drinking with his friends. Among a group of boys, there was only one girl. She had a hot figure, was wearing black stockings, and casually sat on the sofa with her legs crossed, not caring about anything. I knew this girl. Her name was Luna. She was Ronan's good friend. "All of you, whoever gets a girlfriend has to let your dad check it out first." Immediately someone started to stir things up. Ronan's girlfriend is almost getting married, right? Luna's smile froze for a moment. She kicked Ronan with her foot in black stockings. "Hey, you're quite something. No wonder you seldom came out to play with us recently. So you're getting married. You value sex over friendship." Ronan leaned lazily back on the sofa, half hiding and half not hiding. "Nothing of the sort. Don't be shy if you're really getting married. I'll definitely give you a big red envelope." Luna smiled and patted Ronan, but somehow her eyes turned a bit red. She picked up the wine bottle and took a few sips. Ronan looked at her and said, "Stop drinking. Mind your own business. You've drunk too much, fuck you." "I haven't drunk too much. I'll drink if I want to." "It's none of your business." As Luna said this, she seemed to be unable to hold her liquor, and gradually leaned her whole body against Ronan. She murmured as if she was about to say something. Ronan couldn't hear clearly. He lowered his head and put his ear close to the girl's lips. The atmosphere became extremely ambiguous. This moment, however, bang, it was me opening the door. The whole room fell silent for a moment. I didn't look at any of them. I put down my bag, changed my shoes and went into the study. I didn't say a word throughout the whole process. Gradually voices came from outside the room. Someone said Ronan's sister-in-law seems unhappy. They thought I was angry and was giving Ronan a cold shoulder. Ronan probably thought so too. Only his voice came, "Leave her alone." He played a song on the stereo, and the cold atmosphere in the living room gradually became lively again. Luna fell asleep lying beside him. Ronald took off his coat and covered her with it. Someone said to Ronald, "Ask sister-in-law to come out and play with us." Ronan said in a flat, "No need, she's socially anxious." I was indeed socially anxious. To be more precise, I had anxiety disorder. My hands would shake, and I'd break out in a cold sweat when speaking in a crowd. Therefore, I didn't have much social life, and my whole life revolved around Ronan. He once kissed me tenderly and said, "Selena, I'm so lucky to meet a girl like you, who only has eyes for me." But now, what used to be an advantage had become a disadvantage. "You don't understand. I really hope she can go out and socialize more, and make some friends." Ronan took a sip of wine and complained, "Someone's sister-in-law is so beautiful. If she really goes out to socialize, there will surely be lots of people rushing to ask for her WeChat. Then she won't have time to pay attention to you." Ronan laughed and said, "Let her go. Let her get to know more other men. Don't be so clingy to me like now." His voice was very relaxed, certain that I wouldn't actually go. I needed to go to the hospital regularly to get medicine for my anxiety disorder. So, I couldn't participate in any social activities at all. The so-called fairness that both sides could make friends with, the opposite sex, was actually just to fulfill his own freedom. But it didn't matter. I didn't care anymore. I took out my iPad and started drawing the design sketch of the wedding invitation. In the upper left corner, I outlined the initials of the bride and groom. In cursive, TCHISUI Joe. The bride was me, Selena. The groom wasn't Ronan. Though, after finishing drawing this invitation, I was going to marry the person I wanted to marry. When I was 16, Ronan thought I was having a cold war with him. He didn't coax me either. And went to sleep alone at night. I drew until midnight. When I took a break and checked my phone, I found a people you may know in my contacts list. It was Luna. Her latest post was posted 30 minutes ago. In the video, she took a sip of wine and kissed Ronan. Amid the cheers of a group of people. The accompanying caption: childhood sweethearts but just a lip friendship. The location was the living room of my house. In the warm yellow light, the silhouettes of her and Ronan looked so good, together with a strong romantic atmosphere. In the comments section, many people who didn't know the situation. You two are a perfect match. There were also a few scattered comments saying, I can't stand it. It's so ambiguous. Why say it's friendship? The world has become so abstract that I don't understand it. These comments were quickly besieged by a group of people. Luna herself replied, don't be so obsessed with romantic relationships. Okay, I'm close to both guys and girls. I'll kiss pretty girls even more passionately. Her bold statement attracted a bunch of new. I'm okay with it. Sister. Kiss me. Somehow I couldn't help laughing when I read these. My eyes felt a bit hot and tears flowed down. But it wasn't because of Luna or Ronan. It was the 4 words childhood sweethearts that suddenly reminded me of my James. I hadn't dared to recall James so seriously. For a long time. White shirt, ice cold soda. And the rebellious eyebrows and eyes of the boy. In the sunlight, I rushed up and hugged him. When he made the last 3-pointer at the buzzer, he blushed in the thunderous. Hey, this kind of thing can only be done with a girlfriend. Why aren't you happy? My heart sank. No, it's just too soon. He took out his phone and checked the order in a flurry. The flowers I bought are still on the way. Later, James bought a car. The first thing he did was to put a label on the passenger seat. Selena's exclusive seat. He also bought a little rabbit here. Seat saver. He patted the cute little rabbit's head. When Selena isn't here, you have to save the seat for her. Don't let others sit there. Okay, we were together for 7 years. James bought a new little rabbit every year. He said, when we collect 7 rabbits to summon the dragon, I'll apply to officially become your husband. He didn't lie to me. In the little apron of the 7th rabbit, there was a big diamond ring hidden. That was the last gift James left for me. He didn't get to give it to me in person. In the end, I got it from the police. The little rabbit with the blue apron was mixed among a pile of evidence. At the car accident scene, all the other things were stained with dark brown to black blood. Only this rabbit had a bright and clean white, fluffy smiling face. Spotless. The police said that James hid it in his arms before he died and protected it very well. This moment, that little rabbit was placed on my bedside, together with the other ones. I walked over and gently stroked their heads. James the first, miss you so much. How could I miss you so much? Suddenly my hand stopped. No, it wasn't there. The little rabbit in the blue apron wasn't here. Coldness suddenly overwhelmed me. A dizzy spell hit me. I opened my eyes wide, and then realized that the sheets and quilt were all wrinkled. And there were 2 long chestnut hairs on the pillow. Someone had slept in my room last night. But I couldn't care about that anymore. I just wanted to find the little rabbit that James left for me. I searched everywhere in the house like crazy, and finally found it in the trash can in the kitchen. The little rabbit was mixed among a pile of food scraps. Its body had become very dirty, and there was a black footprint on it. It was from a high-heeled shoe. Blood suddenly rushed to my head. I rushed to the door of Ronan's bedroom and pounded on the door heavily. A few seconds later, he opened the door. Come to make up. He smiled lazily. Ronan thought I was coming to make peace. It had always been like this in the past. When I was angry, he didn't care. During the long Cold War, it was always me who bowed my head first, knocked on the door and coaxed him. But at this moment, I held up the rabbit and asked what's going on here. Ronan's smile disappeared, and he impatiently tried to close the door. How would I know? I suddenly exploded, pushing hard against the door. I stared into Ronan's eyes. Who did you let sleep in my room last night? Luna, right? Ronan's eyes showed guilt for just a short moment. But then he became irritable and impatient. Yes, so what? She drank too much. It wasn't safe for a girl to go back alone at night. There was a crisp sound in the air. I slapped Ronan across the face. Ronan was stunned. Then he became extremely angry. Are you crazy? There's nothing between us. If there was really something, I would have let her sleep in the master bedroom. Okay. I looked at his face. After a long while I lowered my eyes blankly. Let's break up, James. You told me that I must live happily and must find someone who loves me as much as you do. But now I understand. There's no one like you. Say that again. I heard Ronan's voice. He was really angry. We're breaking up. I repeated expressionlessly, without looking at Ronan's expression anymore. I turned my head, took the rabbit and went into the bathroom, and started scrubbing it hard. As I washed it, tears kept falling. Ronan's voice came from outside. Selena, are you fucking crazy? How much is a rabbit worth? I'll buy you 10 more. Okay. Only the sound of running water answered him. Ronan's patience was completely exhausted. He turned around and slammed the door and left, leaving me alone at home. It took me a long time to wash the rabbit clean. I hung it out on the balcony, in the wind under the clear sky. It gradually became snow-white, fluffy and warm. It would be okay. Then, I should be okay too. Right. I found a homestay that could be rented for a long term. Online and then packed my things. There weren't many. A small package could hold them all. The only things that needed to be packed were the row of rabbits beside the bed, the ones with bows wearing jerseys wearing sunglasses. The only one that made me hesitate was the rabbit in a spacesuit. Among all the rabbits, this was the only one that Ronan bought for me. At that time we weren't together yet. Ronan put a lot of effort into chasing me. His family was wealthy since he was a child. Whenever he met a girl he liked, he knew to spend money on her, and he could basically win her over. Except for me. The luxury goods he bought for me, I returned them intact. When he took me to high-end restaurants, I quickly treated him back. Finally he, somehow, found out that I liked this series of little rabbits. That time, the rabbit in a spacesuit was about to be released. It was a limited edition. He took a plane overnight to the release site in Shanghai. He queued for more than 10 hours among a sea of people and almost got into a fight with others. Finally he managed to grab the last one. When I found him, his head was sweaty, and there were scratches on his face. But he waved at me vigorously across the crowd. Look, Selena. What is this? He stood tall among the crowd, with a bright smile like the sun. He really looked like James. On that day, I couldn't help it and burst into tears. While hugging the rabbit, Ronan stood beside me comforting me at a loss. Don't cry, don't cry. These little scratches don't hurt. I'll buy you everyone in the future. That instant, my thoughts drifted back to an afternoon. Many years ago, I was sitting on a bench in the university campus, with James basking in the sun. Suddenly he asked me if I got a terminal illness. What would you do? Pa. I jumped up and tried to hit James' mouth. He dodged everywhere. If I said if, then I'll send you off first, and then commit suicide with you. Are you satisfied now? No. James pressed me into his arms. His expression suddenly became very serious. Selena, listen to me. You should live well and happily, and find someone who loves you as much as I do. You should also love him well, because loving is a happier thing than being loved. I want to watch you be happy. Only when you're happy will I be happy in heaven, James. Do you know, in the second year after you left, when Ronan held up that rabbit to me among the crowd, I thought that person had appeared. I would try my best to live, try my best to put everything related to you away, in my memories, and make room in my heart for him. Try my best to be happy. But now I understand there's no one like you. There won't be anyone like you in the future either. I put the rabbit in a spacesuit into my bag. It grinned at me. Cute and naughty. I'm going to give you back. I touched its head and said softly. Ronan didn't answer my calls. Fortunately, he only liked to go to a few places. I found him in a KTV box. When I entered, his friends greeted me one after another. Sister-in-law is here. Sister-in-law. Sit here. They gave up the seat beside Ronald for me. Ronald had a cold face, staring at the screen with the lyrics scrolling on it. Not looking at me. He thought I was coming to bow my head and make peace. So he was waiting for my apology. I didn't go over there. I sat in the seat at the very edge. No need. I'll just sit here. Ronan frowned. Luna beside him smiled and pushed him. She's angry. Hurry up and coax her. Ronan didn't look at me or her order a song. Whose turn is it next? He deliberately ignored me. Ronan knew that I would feel anxious in a crowd. So in the past when he took me out, he always sat beside me, for fear that he couldn't take care of me. Now he deliberately ignored me, just waiting for my anxiety disorder to flare up, and force me to bow my head to him. Luna smiled. You brat, you have such a bad temper. Don't you know how to cherish a beauty? She walked towards me with a glass of wine in her hand. Ronan is such a straight guy. Baby, don't argue with him. She affectionately put her arm around me. In the next moment the wine glass suddenly tipped over. A whole glass of ice-cold whiskey spilled all over me. I was wearing white clothes, and my chest was completely wet, looking extremely embarrassed. No, I was kind enough to persuade you. Why did you push me? Before I could say anything, Luna had already taken the preemptive move. She fell backward, bumped into the cabinet behind her, and now she was covering her waist, looking like she was in great pain. The boy beside her also chimed in. Ronan, your girlfriend is really mean. You two had a fight. But it's not right for her to vent her anger on Luna. I turned my head and stared at the boy. There was a scar on his forehead. I recognized him. In high school. He was Luna's little follower. Finn felt creepy when I stared at him. He swallowed. Ronan had already walked over. He helped Luna up. Where did you bump? Does it hurt? Luna's eyes were red. She held back her tears and said, it's okay. Just coax your girlfriend. Ronan suppressed his anger and turned to look at me. Apologize. I didn't say anything and just quietly looked at him. Apologize. His voice got louder. Luna tugged at the corner of his clothes. Oh, don't quarrel because of me. She said this while standing behind Ronan, looking at me with a smug face. Ronan didn't know that when I came over just now, I had met Luna in the corridor. She looked at me with a smile on her face. I really didn't expect that. A bitch like you could seduce Ronan. He's like me for 10 years. Believe it or not. I just need to beckon with my finger, and he'll dump you and come back to me. At this moment she stood behind Ronan looking at me. Her face was full of the look that she had won. Ronan repeated, I'll ask you one last time. Will you apologize or not? The music from the next room came vibrating my eardrums. I seldom spoke on such occasions. Speaking in any public place would make my hands shake, and my heart palpitate. But at this moment I suddenly smiled. I said, it's you who should apologize. Luna and you, Finn. You both should apologize to me. I wasn't born with anxiety disorder. Before I was 16, everyone said Selena was like a little sun, lively, bright and warm. When did things start to change? Probably. It began when my mother remarried Luna's father. In fact, it was just a very ordinary family reorganization. But somehow rumors started spreading in school that my mother had become a mistress and got into that position. The rumors spread wider and wider, and I became the daughter of a mistress. I tried to explain, but no one believed me. All kinds of versions began to spread. On the school's post bar. Do you know? Actually, Selena's mother has been teaching Selena the skills of being a mistress. All the time, no wonder. Selena always looks so flirtatious when she talks to boys. Turns out it's in the family tradition. Tell me. Selena always goes in and out of the principal's office. And then, the principal gave her the first-class scholarship. Could it be that It's terrifying when you think about it carefully. How old is the principal? She's really shameless. It's a family of mistresses. You have to sacrifice something to achieve your goals. There's nothing they won't do. Then campus bullying. During class. As long as I was called to answer questions, there would be all kinds of strange laughter. From below during the art performance, there were laser pointers shining on my eyes. From the audience, whatever I said would be recorded and magnified and interpreted infinitely on the post bar. Gradually I didn't dare to speak anymore, avoided talking to anyone, and went to and from class silently every day. That was when James appeared. He dragged the boy, who shone the laser pointer at my eyes, out of the audience, and punched him on the bridge of the nose. Many people went to pull him, and a group of the boy's cronies took advantage of the chaos to hit James. James soon had blood on his face, but he didn't seem to care at all. He just pinned the instigator firmly to the ground and punched steadily, again and again. The expression on his face was calm and focused, exactly the same as when he was participating in the International Olympiad. The incident caused a big stir. The boy's father was the deputy general manager of a certain group. He brought people to find the principal, to demand an explanation. James lost his national award and the qualification for excellence evaluation. Because of this, for the first time since he was a child, the good student got a demerit. When he finally came out of the principal's office, many people went up to care about him. Girls surrounded him and Luna was among them. She held a tissue and said with a sob, "James, the wound on your face is bleeding. It makes people feel so distressed." James pushed her away and walked towards me. I lowered my head, not daring to look at him, and turned to leave, because I was afraid that my bad reputation would affect him. I hadn't talked to James for a long time. My wrist was suddenly grabbed, running away from me again. "Little childhood sweetheart." James' voice was low-sounding, aggrieved. As soon as I turned around and saw the wound on his face, tears immediately fell down. Don't cry. Doesn't hurt." He smiled gently. "It's worth getting this little wound. If it makes you finally talk to me, I don't mind. Those posts on the post bar were all posted by you, right in the KTV box." I looked at Luna and then my eyes turned to Finn. "And you? Was it fun to shine the laser pointer at other people's eyes? If someone hadn't stopped you, I would have gone blind long ago. If an apology is really needed, shouldn't it be you who should apologize to me?" Finn lowered his head, not daring to look at me. But Luna just blinked her eyes and then stood up. "Are you crazy? Who posted things about you? Do you have any evidence? Before you talk nonsense here. Is your persecution paranoia acting up again?" She took a look at Ronan, who was standing aside, and said with a bitter smile, "I get it. You just misunderstand the relationship between me and Ronan, so you want to smear me in front of him. Ronan, do you believe her?" Luna looked at Ronan. Ronan had a gloomy face and didn't say a word. "Got it." Luna smiled palely. "You men all fall for this. Okay, then I'll apologize to your dear girlfriend." She walked towards me. Perhaps because she was drunk, she walked unsteadily. Her foot in high heels slipped, and she fell to the ground directly. Ronan rushed over to support her. "Let me go." Luna's eyes were red. She struggled with a sob. "Why are you still bothering with me? Don't you believe her already?" "I believe you." Ronan said. He didn't even look at me. "Who wants you to believe me? Go away." Luna pushed Ronan, but then buried herself in Ronan's arms and started crying. Luna, who had always been proud, willful, and bold, seldom showed such a vulnerable side. Ronan felt extremely distressed. He stroked Luna's head and kept, "I've known you for over 10 years. Don't I know what kind of person you are?" Luna's hand had been covering her ankle. Ronan noticed it and asked, "Did you sprain it?" Luna sniffed and pretended to be strong and said, "Doesn't hurt. Don't be brave." Ronan picked Luna up. "What are you doing?" Luna shouted and struggled slightly. "What are you doing? Put me down. Stop making trouble. If you keep making trouble, I'll let you hop to the hospital." "I'll hop then." Luna didn't admit defeat verbally. but obediently put her arms around Ronan's neck. She turned her head to look at me. In the dim light of the KTV, she mouthed to me, "Bitch." It was exactly the same as what she called me on the school's post bar. Many years ago, I called his name. Ronan stopped. I took out the key to his house from my bag and put it on the table, together with the rabbit in the spacesuit. Seemingly recognizing what the sound was, Ronan's back seemed to freeze for a moment, but then he walked forward without looking back. Ronan's perspective. When Ronan walked out of the KTV carrying Luna, he stood in the night for quite a while. "Hasn't the driver come yet?" Luna muttered unhappily in a low voice. Ronan didn't say anything, and his chest rose and fell slightly. He belatedly realized that he was standing here, actually, waiting for Selena to come out and chase after him. He knew Selena too well. Selena couldn't really want to break up. Ronan was familiar with this kind of trick. Girls always talked about breaking up when they quarreled, but in fact, they just hoped that the boys would be the first to bow their heads and coax them. But why should he be the first to bow his head? Since he was a child, he had always been chased by girls when breaking up. He was always the one who dumped others. He had never been dumped. Before, he thought he had been quite indulgent to Selena. He gave her whatever she wanted. Sometimes after a tiring day of business negotiations, he still patiently accompanied her and tried to make her happy. Why was it like this? He didn't like her that much. Actually, probably, it was just because he didn't want to see her cry. Selena looked so obedient, really like a little rabbit. When she cried, she hardly made any noise. Only her eyes would turn red. Whenever this happened, Ronan's heart would also feel like being scratched by the little rabbit's paws, bringing a fine and torturous pain. Just now, he had actually decided that, as long as Selena shed a single tear and said a few soft words, he would choose her. But she had repeatedly threatened him with breaking up. From home all the way to the KTV. This time he definitely wouldn't give in again. Ronan stood in the night, thinking that although he couldn't spoil Selena anymore, if she really chased after him, he would give her one more chance. After all, she really loved him. Without him, he didn't know how she could continue to live. With this thought in mind, Ronan stood there for a while longer. But Selena never came out. The temperature was even lower late at night. Ronan's thin shirt was soaked with the cold, and his anger suddenly flared up. "Fine, you're not coming out. Right. Well, then don't ever come." Ronan strode quickly and got into the car with Luna. He didn't listen to what Luna said along the way. There was only one sentence in his mind. "She'll surely regret it." Ronan deliberately stayed in the hospital for several days. It was as if Luna was cooperating with him. At first she just sprained her ankle, and then she kept saying that she had a headache and a fever later. She always said that she wasn't feeling well, while pretending to be strong, and telling Ronan that she was okay, and urging him to go home quickly to accompany Selena. Ronan had a spoiled temper. The more Luna said that, the more irritable he became. "Go home? Hell no. I've already broken up with her. Didn't you hear that?" After saying that, Ronan would still secretly open his phone and quietly check if there were any new messages. There were some, but they were all from others. Selena's chat interface had never been updated. The last message was sent before they met in the KTV. She said she was coming to return his things. Ronan didn't believe it at that time. All that talk about returning things was just an excuse. Things like, "You left something at my house. I want to return the gift you gave me in person. I still have something I want to make clear to you face to face," were all just excuses for girls. It was nothing more than wanting to make up, but being too embarrassed to say so. But Ronan was also willing to give Selena a way out, as long as she came to apologize and coaxed him a little. To help him save face in front of his friends, he would go home with her. He didn't expect that Selena wouldn't apologize at all, and even left him the key to the house. The more Ronan thought about it, the angrier he got. You really shouldn't spoil women. He had been too nice to Selena from the beginning, and spoiled her so much that she became completely uncontrollable. Thinking of this, Ronan simply raised his glass took a picture of Luna's silhouette, and then posted it on Moments. It was only visible to Selena. He was trying to anger her. It was also a show of strength. I've never lacked girls around me. If you don't come back, don't regret it. After leaving Ronan, I rented a suite in a homestay for a long term. One day the front desk suddenly sent me, "Miss Selena, someone is looking for you." It was Mom. She was wearing an expensive suit, had newly permed curly hair, and was wearing a gemstone necklace. "Why did you move out of Ronan's house? We hadn't contacted each other for almost 10 years. This was the first sentence she asked me after 10 years. Mom said, "Do you know that the Ronan family's influence spans both the political and business circles, and Ronan is an only child? You must have burned incense for several lifetimes to make him take a liking."